for a lot of people, I would feel that someone who played in the NFL, you said that like you felt behind. And that happens a lot in the military. Guys from the special forces, they spend a couple of years in the military and they leave and they're like, I'm so far behind everyone in terms of business, in terms of my progress, my self-development, whatever that may be. So it's just really interesting to hear that someone who a lot of people would assume that you reach the pinnacle of everything. Some people's lives is, if only my dream, my goal is to meet someone from the NFL, never mind playing it. So can you walk us through a little bit about that, about how you felt left behind a little bit and kind of what you're doing now to change that, or to how you've developed that?
Yeah, I think, I put so much time and effort accomplishing this dream of mine, and it's a sport and it's a very specific skill where, I played offensive line. So I was just really good at keeping this other guy from getting from point A to point B. I was one of the best in the world at doing that and moving people out of the way. And that doesn't really transfer over into like a lot of other areas. And so I felt this like behind as far as like, I want to get involved in business. I want to experience other things. I want to create other things. I feel like I have so much to catch up on and learn. But what I've realized, and I think this is why I want to work with athletes, and because I feel like this is a big issue with a lot of transitioning athletes, like you said, with the military too. They just feel like, okay, what else can I do? Oh, I'm so far behind. It's so competitive. And I want to bring the idea that it's not about the thing. Like, you can learn anything and you can become better and improve at anything. But the intangible things that football has taught me and taught these athletes, and maybe the military, the skills that you learn, it's about those intangible things that got you to the pinnacle, that got you to becoming the best at what you do. So it's not necessarily the thing that you became the best at. It's like, how did you get there? It's your makeup, it's your character, it's who you are, it's the adversity you've overcome. And applying that and focusing on that, those skills that are within you, that are innate in your character, and using those and applying them to whatever you want to do next. And so I've been learning and trying to grow and experience. And there's another, nothing can put in place of experience. You can't just learn experience. You got to go through it, the process. And so that comes back to this idea of failing fast so that you can learn fast. I feel like every business book I've read, trying to learn as much as I can, especially the last couple of years of my football career, I knew I was kind of going into this transition. And so I was like, I need to start learning about what I want to do. And majority of business books, the lesson is you just got to start. You just got to go. You just got to do. You just got to try and fail as fast as you can, because then you're going to learn. But you can't learn by just reading books or talking to people. You have to learn by going out and doing and experiencing for yourself. And so that's why I connect with my blog, even, that I shared. One of my big mantras is live with less, experience more. Our culture and society is really a lot of people, it's about accumulating things and stuff and making themselves feel more worthy externally, when I've connected with the fact that it's really all about experience. And there's nothing wrong with having things, but nothing really can take away those experiences that you get and the growth that comes from those experiences. I know that was a lot too, but I kind of got...
No, that's fantastic. I mean, I think just to bring this back to the people watching, it's like, leave the NFL, leave the military aside. It's like, even someone who's just gone through a university degree in marine biology, and they want to start being an entrepreneur, they want to start business. It's what you're saying has a very powerful carryover effect. It's like, just because you learned one thing, there was a system, there was something at play that allowed you to get to whatever you achieved, whether that's finishing university, whether that's finishing school, high school, whether that's getting out of a first job or whatever that may be. And those intangibles are within you. They're not anywhere else. You don't need to read about them. They're there if you look hard enough. And even the most simple acts had signs of character. And I think that's a very powerful thing to put out there, that you don't need to go into these, high corporate companies or be an elite athlete to have these characteristics within you. They're there. And if you just, as you say, you observe them and you started to look into them and then say, how can I then transfer this into something else? So I think that could give a lot of people an opportunity to take what they have within them. And I do this a lot with the people I work with. It's like, let's look for what you already have. Let's magnify those strengths and the things that are going well for you, and put them into whatever new thing you want to put into the world, whatever impact you want to make.
Yeah, and I mean, a couple quotes that really come to mind when you're talking were, it's really all about the journey. People get so caught up in trying to be somewhere or be at the finish line or the destination, but it's really the whole reason we're here living this life is it's all about the journey and experiencing the journey to the fullest in the present moment. We all want to try and get somewhere, but as soon as you get to that place that you think is going to make you feel so good, your goals are going to continue to move forward. You're never going to actually arrive. And I always like to say, like, when you arrive at your destination, like, that's death, because you should continue to grow and experience the journey to the fullest until up to that point. And that's why we're here. You never fully arrive, right?
It doesn't seem like a great strategy to get to death first.
Yeah.